people of Taiwan have lived under the threat of China's invasion for decades.
Tension between the two sides has heightened.
It may be the most dangerous political flashpoint in the world.
There's a lot of debate among analysts and China watchers about how China will attempt to take Taiwan, but there is a general consensus that they will try. Behind the current tensions between China and Taiwan is a claim by Beijing that Taiwan is a breakaway province of China. The Chinese Communist Party has never ruled Taiwan, but its leader, Xi Jinping, has made taking the island a key goal of his future legacy.
祖国完全统一的历史任务一定要实现，也一定能够实现。
Now, he has said that he would rather this happen by peaceful means, but at the same time, he has also said that it is non-negotiable, and he has not ruled out using force. Taiwan doesn't want this.
Yes, China, no.
Its people are increasingly in favour of independence. Its leader, Tsai Ing-wen, says that they are already a sovereign nation and has no need to declare independence. These two positions are irreconcilable.
The Russian Defense Ministry claims that it has prevented a U.S. Navy destroyer from entering its borders near the Sea of Japan during joint Moscow-Beijing military drills on Friday. Russian military officials described the incident as being, quote, a gross violation of international regulations intended to prevent maritime collisions. U.S. military officials have not yet issued a formal response. The incident comes just days after Russian President Vladimir Putin complained of U.S. presence in faraway waters during an energy summit. During that same summit, however, he signaled that there is potential to work with the United States on a host of issues from energy to arms control, and he also said that he had established a solid working relationship with U.S. President Joe Biden. Susan Terhwani reporting from New York.
Chinese and Russian Navy ships jointly sailed through a strait separating two Japanese islands on Monday. That's according to Japan's government, which said it was closely watching such activities. The Tsugaru Strait separates the Sea of Japan from the Pacific and is considered international waters. Japan's Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary.
It is the first time Chinese and Russian naval ships have sailed the Tsugaru Strait together, as the media has pointed out. The Japanese government has a strong interest in the activities of Chinese and Russian naval ships around Japan, so we are closely monitoring.
A Japanese Defense Ministry spokesperson said there have been no violation of Japanese territorial waters and no international rules have been broken. Japan's ties with China have long been plagued by conflicting claims over a group of tiny East China Sea islands. Tokyo has a territorial dispute with Moscow as well. Beijing and Moscow have sought closer ties in recent years, as their relations with the West have soured. Last week, they held joint naval drills in the Sea of Japan involving warships and multiple aircraft.
Iran is flexing its muscles in the region. First, it held war exercises near the Azerbaijan border. Now it has warned Israel over its presence in the country. In our next report, we take a look at what is Iran's endgame here.
This is Iran and Azerbaijan. The two share a 700-kilometer border. The countries have enjoyed cordial relations, but war games have now driven them apart, stoking flames of enmity in the region. It started last year with the Nagorno-Karabakh War. The 44-day war marked a significant victory for Baku. Armenia handed over much. This changed everything between Baku and Tehran. Earlier, much of Iran's shared border was under Armenia's control. Now, this border area belonged to Azerbaijan. Frustrated by Iran's...
All right, from the logistics of COVID-19 vaccines, let's now shift our attention to what is happening in the South China Sea. But amidst China's rising threats against Taiwan, what is interesting is that the United States is assisting the autonomous island in strengthening its military prowess. Taiwan is an ally of the United States and at the risk of infuriating China. America's Special Operations Forces have been quietly training the Taiwanese troops for several months. Now, this revelation has come from a Pentagon official who has confirmed to certain American media agencies, where he said that such a training has been ongoing for at least about a year. A contingent of nearly about 20 special operations and conventional forces have been conducting the training for almost about a year. Now, Taiwan's defense ministry has declined to comment on this report, but Pentagon spokesperson John Supple said that the U.S. support for Taiwan's military is in fact gauged and is dependent on its defense needs. Now, the Pentagon
Tense face-off between warships from the United States and Russia. A U.S. Navy destroyer and a Russian anti-submarine warship came within 60 meters of each other. The incident occurred during Russian-Chinese war games in the Sea of Japan. Russia's defense ministry said that one of its warships, the Admiral Tributes, chased away a U.S. Navy destroyer after it attempted to violate Russia's territorial waters in the Sea of Japan. The incident took place as Russia and China were conducting naval exercises in the area. Now, the Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement that around 5 p.m. local time, the destroyer, the USS Chafee, which had been operating in the Sea of Japan for several days, quote, approached the territorial waters of the Russian Federation and attempted to cross the border, unquote. Now, Russia's Admiral Tributes destroyer issued a warning to the U.S. warship about the inadmissibility of such actions as the area was closed to navigation due to the exercises with artillery fire. Earlier on Friday, Russia had said it held joint naval drills with China in the Sea of Japan and practiced how to operate together and destroy floating enemy mines with artillery fire.
Most Palestinians have never left Gaza because they're not allowed to. So when Israel recently said it would grant a few hundred work permits, this is what happened. It's not quite a matter of life or death, but it's not far from it. Gaza, 5 months after the war ended, is still a land of rubble and fear. The ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, the militant organization which controls Gaza, is fragile, but it is just about holding for now. But in their first interview since mediation talks in Egypt ended, Hamas has told Sky News that they will continue to fight Israel.
We can defeat Israel. We can target Israel. I think we target Israel many times. Okay, we can kill. They can come and destroy everything. But in the same time, Israel will never see their stability unless the Palestinians get their stability and their security. They have to understand this.
So you'll continue to fight Israel?
Yes,
you'll continue to strike Israel?
Yes. It is our right, national right.
If that happens, there will be more scenes like this.